Disclaimer: I do not actually have a cousin named Bernard. Bernard is an amalgam or a mixture of many different people. I think we all have a cousin Bernard though. He is like Floyd Money Mayweather except with no money. He is loud and unreliable. He is also family. When it comes to our gatherings, he is greeted with a collective eye roll. No one says anything because he is also volatile. He has nothing to lose by catching a misdemeanor. Because of Jesus, you love Bernard, but only because of Jesus. You try to understand him because, after all, you know his story. He didn't have the foundation you had. He wasn't given the home training that you were given. He is living proof that you are a product of your environment. You hate it when he uses you as a job reference. However, you give him a glowing review because if he ain't working, he is borrowing from you. So when his future employer calls, you find clever ways to polish excrement into Italian marble. Once he is employed, Bernard is someone else's problem. You hate the fact that people associate your family with Bernard. The rest of the family is hardworking, well-mannered, or highly educated folk. Everyone is reliable except for Bernard. If I ever became famous, I would almost have to employ Bernard, not because I like him, but to prevent him from going to the Inquirer. He is that kind of person. Why am I telling you about Bernard? I want to explain to you one reason why a psychological phenomenon called racism exists. He's not the main reason. The primary reason that racism was created and pushed upon us was economic. It was a way of justifying the oppression of an entire continent for financial purposes. The Bernard hypothesis that I am presenting is exacerbated by the causal root. It's a separate phenomenon and far less dastardly. I just implore people to remember this. Bernard is your family and you can barely stand him. He even looks like you. With all of that in common, you have to pray not to hate his trifling behind. Remember that some of the people who meet Bernard have no other dealings with anyone else who shares his resemblance. Bernard is the first representative of your race that some people will meet. That stranger from Utah may have never met your cousin the attorney or your sister the doctor. They will meet Bernard and form opinions of your culture. For this reason, if the slave trade had never existed, we would still have some racism. Slavery struck a match, but the presence of Bernard fans the flame. Of course, judging a whole group of people based on one interaction with Bernard is unwise. Let me point out something though. If there is one Bernard in every family, how many Bernards are in your city? Yes, this is lazy, unscientific thinking, but it is all too human. Want to hear what makes things even worse? Bernard is much more likely to go viral online than a Tony Harris. Bernard has no problem making a sex tape or even going world star. The internet promotes Bernard style behavior, so sometimes the die is cast before people even leave their house. Here is where this blog can help end racism though. My family is made up of 3 races. I promise you there are Bernards in all 3 families. We could never put them in the same room, but they are all the same. Bernards are not limited to a race. So the next time you are mistreated by someone who looks different than you, overcome your penchant for lazy thinking. The Bible wants us to render righteous judgment. So just repeat this mantra. There goes somebody's Bernard.